Hey everybody, welcome. I'm so excited today because we have a special guest that we're talking to, Holly Toronto, who is the mastermind behind Love Your Body Health Coaching. She's a holistic health coach. And we actually connected, Holly, because we were both at the same event and we both introduced ourselves to the group as helping people reduce shame around body image. And of course, I do it in a movement exercise way, and you do it more focused around a food way. But I'm so excited to have you here today and to get to talk to you a little bit.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here, Elyse. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So we were talking a little bit beforehand, and we are filming this right now leading up to the Thanksgiving week. And of course, then like all the holidays that follow that. And I always feel for myself, even though I've gone through this journey and, I'm approaching things from like a mindful, balanced place, I still feel during the holidays that I just get a little bit of balance, especially with food, because there's just so much of it around. It's just like a constant, you don't get a break. It's just like holiday, 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 holiday. And I want to enjoy it and I do let myself enjoy it. But then there's that kind of dichotomy of like, I want to enjoy it and I am enjoying it, but then also eating so much sugar and alcohol and all this stuff like does kind of make me feel shitty about my body. So I have those two things going on. And I've heard this from my clients as well. It's like, how are we able to drop the shame around what we're eating and how we're feeling our bodies, but then also enjoy the things that we want to enjoy?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's such an important topic, Elyse. And it's something that, of course, like I totally resonate with everything that you're saying. I've been on this journey for myself for a really, really long time. And it is a journey, right? It's not a destination. It's something that we are likely going to be consistently working on for the majority of our lives, right? Because there's always going to be new layers that emerge and want to be seen in each of us. And you're right. There's nothing more more robbing of our joy at the holiday season than to feel shame and guilt after being at a party or out to dinner with friends or with family or whatever the situation might be. There's something that really kind of takes away from that experience. And oftentimes for myself and what I've seen with my clients is that we're actually going into the experience already feeling shameful and already feeling guilty before even being surrounded by the food, right? And so you're getting into the experience and you're walking in there already like not fully expressed, not your authentic self, not really present with the people around you because you're already loading up all of this shame and guilt around what you're going to be eating that night. And it's something that I think there are ways in which we can approach with compassion. I think bringing compassion into the situation is really, really important. And I'm not one to create rules by any means. Like when I go into an eating experience or a party or a dinner or whatever it might be, I don't like to create rules for myself because I feel like those rules really are what end up making me or causing me to act erratically around the food where I'll end up eating more.
Like rules would be like, you could only have this much of this type of food on your plate, or like you're gonna eat all the party food like before a certain time of night or something like that.
Yep, exactly. Or like make sure that I've had protein before showing up or pound a glass of water before I go to a party, like any sort of rule that's going to like load up shame and guilt in my body in some way or try to keep me from doing something.
And I feel like all of those things that you said, like, I feel like those are sort of the checklist that you'll find when you're like, do a Google search of like how to stay blah, blah, blah during the holidays. And it's like, okay, so I'm so glad to hear that like those, like we don't have to go by those rules.
Yeah, no, it's bringing rules into it is just, to me, I think makes the situation worse. I think it's shedding a light on something that is inherently like shameful or guilt inducing, right? And so instead, what I like to encourage my clients to do and encourage myself to do is get really present, to get really present with the experience. So sometimes I will like do a meditation and check in with my body before like going to a party and just seeing how I'm feeling and just getting really present in my body. And like when I show up to the experience and there's that like table, right? That something that I used to like dread, right? I don't know if you've ever had the experience of being at a party and like you're standing near the table and you're like, I feel like I want to go have like 6 chocolates, and but like allowing myself to go in and just see that food as like neutral, basically. Like it's something that can provide a lot of pleasure, but it's just food, right? And kind of like taking back the power from it. And there's one specific tip that I actually work on with my clients a lot. And it's, it's something that sounds so simple, yet it's incredibly profound. Like I've had clients tell me like this was the number one needle mover for their health when it came to their digestion, when it came to healing their relationship to their body and food, because it's something that allows you to slow down and get present. And so it's chewing, which I know we've talked about this before.
Not just swallowing in one piece.
Yes, exactly. So the average person chews a bite of food 3 to 5 times.
Okay.
Which is like essentially like having a door to your stomach that says insert food here. And when we aren't chewing our food, it's actually really challenging for our digestive system to break down larger chunks of food. And also when we do chew our food, there's really important enzymes in our saliva that actually help with the breakdown and the assimilation of nutrients. And with that, when we are chewing our food, we are actually allowing ourselves to experience the pleasure and the taste and the sensations of the food that we're eating. So ultimately, we're satisfied with less. So that one like chocolate or cookie, we're chewing it, we're enjoying it, we're letting those sensations and those tastes fill our mouth. And likely, because we're so present with that experience, we're not going to go back for the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th cookie. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. You just brought me back to, in some of my olden days, many years ago, when I was feeling very out of balance with all of this stuff. I almost felt like that table that you talked about was like calling me over. And I feel like I love what you said about being present, because I felt like I was exactly the opposite of that when I would like sort of be just positioning myself there and having like the M&M like bowl call to me and having conversations with people, but not really having those conversations with people. Like my mind would be there, but it wouldn't be with the food. Yeah. Rather than, I mean, not in the way that you're talking about, like the mindful enjoying way, like in the way of like I just need to be like doing this action.
Yep.
So how can we do this chewing if we are talking to people and if we are like socializing while we're eating?
Yeah, that's a really, really great question. And one that's important to answer, because the average recommended chews per bite is 20 to 30 times per bite.
Oh, we're doing so much less than that.
Yes. Again, most people do 4 to 5 times. And so what I would actually recommend is starting this practice now, right? So we're leading up to Thanksgiving, and those parties are going to start ramping up. I'm hosting a Friendsgiving party relatively soon. And like, it's important to start the practice now, that 20 to 30 times per bite, because it actually does become something that's habitual. So now, because I've been practicing it for so long, when I am in the experience of like having a conversation with somebody, I can chew, right? And get in those 20 to 30. I'm not counting every single time. You kind of start to get a felt sense of what it feels like in your mouth when you've reached 20 to 30 chews. And also, I think educating people as well when you're having these conversations and saying like, oh, you know what I just learned recently, like you should be chewing your food 20 to 30 times, and it allows you to be much more present with the experience. And I think also it's allowing you to slow down. So if you are having a conversation, like know that that plate of food that's in your hand or in front of you, like it's not going anywhere. So you can sit there and you can have that plate of food the entire night. Like no one has to take it away from you, and you can chew and be present with your food in between conversations. It's not something that you have to kind of just like scarf down right away. But what happens so often is that because we've deprived ourselves from having these foods, or we've told ourselves, okay, well, like tonight's the night that I get to indulge. We get there and we want to get in as much as we possibly can because we fear, like on a subconscious level, that we're not going to be allowing ourselves to eat those foods again. So that's where the being present and slowing down and knowing that that food's going to be there for you really becomes so important.
I love that. Well, I want to give something to our viewers today to do, and this sounds like the perfect thing. So can we give a little assignment to everyone watching to start right now with the doing?
Yeah. I mean, I would say start tonight. Start with dinner, because I feel like dinner is the meal that more often than not we tend to sit down for, right? So like breakfast and lunch tend to be a little bit more on the go and not present, but dinner for the most part, and I can't speak for everyone's experience, but it tends to be like a slower time. So I would recommend starting with dinner and sitting down and taking that first bite and allowing yourself to actually feel what it feels like to chew 20 to 30 times per bite. And as best as you can, if you have a partner or somebody that you're eating with, enroll them in this experience as well and almost have fun with it, and like kind of like a competition, like to see who can chew their food the longest. And just allow it to become a practice for you. And of course, as always, not allowing it to be something that you make yourself wrong about. So if you do eat too quickly, or you do only chew 7 times before swallowing, like don't make yourself wrong. There's no reason to feel ashamed or guilty. It is a practice. It's something that comes with time. But yeah, take it one meal at a time and start tonight.
That's awesome. Okay, so we're going to challenge everybody to do that. And Holly and I would love to hear how it goes to you, if it feels like totally natural, if it feels silly, if it feels sensual, if you forgot, or if you get your partner, your friends, and your family to join in with you. So leave us a comment below this video to let us know how chewing for 20 to 30 times bite works. Gosh, I'm just calculating that. I'm like, okay, I really have to like not talk while I'm eating, because I think that's something that I do. Okay, awesome. So we can't wait to hear from you about that. And I also wanted to let you know that coming up very soon, starting next week, I believe, Holly has a 21-day Love Your Body online course. Tell us a little bit about that, Holly.
Yeah. So I'm launching an online course called 21 Days to Love Your Body. It's starting on Monday, November 13th. So that's this coming Monday. And the intention behind this program is to explore what it means to have self-love and body positivity be the root and the catalyst for overall wellness. Because so often we're told that in order to truly love our bodies or to experience health and vitality, we have to change something about our bodies. We have to seek this outcome that might not always be achievable for every single person. And so what this program seeks to do is help you start from a place of self-love, a place of loving and accepting your body as it is today, and allowing your own unique expression of health to really expand from there. And it is possible for every single person. So we're going to be talking about telling our story. We're going to be talking about intuitive health and more getting present and slowing down with the eating experience, and just other really simple ways that you can begin to heal your relationship to your body and food and approach your health from a place of radical, unconditional self-love.
I absolutely love it. I think this is brilliant. I'm so excited to share it with everyone. So we will post some more info below so you can check out Holly's program and everything that Holly has going on too, and start to love your body right here, right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us, Holly.
Thank you, Elyse. Thank you.